Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode we'll look at the highlights between Wakefield Trinity and Leeds Rhinos, plus 6 1-minute stories from the world of Rugby League. So let's get right into it. Here come those 6 stories. Leeds Rhinos have launched a new look third kit ahead of their Betfred Super League clash with Wakefield Trinity for tonight's live game on Sky Sports. Plus, the club have been talking straight with their fans about the reasons behind the new strip. 4 games into the campaign, the club will wear a vibrant pink kit for local derby against Wakefield. The Rhinos had pink as part of their kit design for the 4 successive seasons between 2010 and 2013. And the colour makes a return, providing a new look that gives enough contrast between the Leeds Rhinos and existing kits and some of their Super League opponents, especially for televised games. Commercial director Rob Oates explained, "The new look third kit certainly stands out from the crowd and will probably divide opinion between Rhinos and Rugby League fans alike, but we are pleased with the distinctive look. The 2 main reasons we have why we have launched a third kit. The first is practical reason. Viewers, broadcasters deem a bigger contrast in the kits of both teams, especially for live television games. And secondly, replica shirt sales are a key part of any business. Mikola Jeletsky has donated his shirt for an eBay auction for the game. All of the proceeds will go to the British Red Cross emergency appeal for the refugees in Ukraine." Castleford Tigers have been given a major blow in the last week of the news that Danny Richardson will be sidelined for 12 weeks. Richardson fractured his neck in the Tigers' opening day defeat to Salford Red Devils, and head coach Lee Radford has been given the bad prognosis. "I think Danny is going to be 11 to 12 weeks, Radford told this Rugby League Live. "It's pretty long term. I know there's a form of fracture in there, and it's 8 weeks with a brace on. Round 1 it's probably not the news that Danny or the club wanted, but it's the cards we've been dealt. And we'll be even more reliant on Truitt and Gaz O'Brien to grab the team by the horns." Castleford Tigers are currently no wins from their first 3 games and have a tricky home tie against Hull FC on Sunday, March the 6th. The new owners of Hull City are determined to work together with Hull FC chairman Adam Pearson. The 2 clubs share the MKM Stadium, and Hull City Vice Chairman Tan Kessler here on the left and owner Akun Ilikali in the middle want to improve the football club's relationship with the Rugby League side after several clashes over the years. Owner Pearson and the previous ownership, the Allen family, clashed on a number of issues during the family's running of the MKM Stadium through the Stadium Management Company. However, in an almost truce, Pearson was invited to as Alikani's guest for last Tuesday night's 2-0 home defeat to Barnsley in the Football Championship. With the FC lease on the MKM Stadium having just 6 years to run, Pearson has been trying to renegotiate the terms, and Kessler wants the 2 companies to work together and coexist. "We reached out to Adam Pearson and we tried to come up with something that doesn't see us come to subsidise or run somebody else's business," Kessler told Hull Alive. "We become more like partners, where we fulfil supporters' expectations. Previously, the relationship between the previous owners and the rugby club was not good, so we tried to fix that, and we want the rugby fans to be more comfortable and confident." As the new ownership and a new era, we are not keen on spending money on somebody else's business, spending on resources of something else. We will help them to become more competitive in the business aspects, but we will not pay the bills for everybody else. While it sounds like good first steps between the two parties, I feel that there's a long way to go, as they've made it clear that some bills have to be paid by Hull FC. So there's news coming from Sheffield Eagles as they're moving to the community stadium at Sheffield's Olympic Park, Legacy Park, have been delayed due to unforeseen circumstances the club and the development group have put out. Scarborough Group International have provided the following statement due to these issues. Due to circumstances beyond our control, we regretfully confirm that there will be an additional minor delay to the construction of the community stadium at Sheffield Olympic Legacy Park, with the target completion date now scheduled for the 15th of April. This means the Sheffield Eagles will now play their first home game against Widnes Vikings on the Monday of the 23rd of May 2022 instead of the London Broncos on Friday the 15th, 2022. Our construction team has made significant amount of progress on the site, having overcome the challenges associated with Brexit and the pandemic. However, recent adverse weather conditions, including high winds and freezing temperatures, have impacted on the progress of certain elements. We understand the disappointment and frustration this delay is likely to cause and continue to work closely with our principal contractors, GMI Construction Group plc, to ensure the community stadium is complete as soon as possible. It's a blow for a club that have been moving around from stadium to stadium, another one in the lower echelons that have been looking for a permanent home. Their ancestral home is Don Valley Stadium, of course, the former Olympic and athletics track. And then there was moved to Doncaster to the Keep Moat Stadium with Don's Rugby League. Sheffield Hallam University, Bramall Lane for the Super League licence, before returning to Don Valley once again. And in 2017, a stint at Bellevue. Still, they're waiting for the Olympic Legacy Park to be completed, but I've been playing at the ground where the 4G pitch is. Hopefully this 23rd of May date will come to fruition, but Sheffield back in Sheffield will be a good thing for their own fans. Three-time Maori All-Star centre Dylan Walker has signed a 3-year contract with the Vodafone New Zealand Warriors, which ends on the end of the NRL season in 2025. The accomplished 27-year-old Walker is off contract with Manly at the end of 2022 and has made 163 NRL appearances, as well as scoring 65 tries since his debut with the South Sydney Rabbitohs back in 2013. He has proven himself among the competition's best and most consistent players over the last 2 years. He's a player very much on the top of his game, said New Zealand Warriors General Manager of Football Craig Hodges. He's a high quality centre who can play in the halves, fullback and fill a role in the middle if required. Dylan is going to bring so much to our side from next season. As well as being part of the 2014 Premiership winning side of the South Sydney, a former Kangaroo and New South Wales origin representative, Walker has appeared for the Maori All-Stars in each of the last 3 seasons. Warriors CEO Cameron George added, "Signing Dylan is a terrific boost for us as we build and improve our roster for next season and beyond. Along with our major signings for 2023 and on, he will lend experience as well as add huge depth to our squad." Walker had an exceptional 2021 season for Manly, where he helped the club to within 1 win of the NRL Grand Final. Predominantly used in a roving interchange role in 20 matches, he averaged 115 metres and 15 tackles a game, which he scored 5 tries as well. Now we look at the Betfred Challenge Cup, as there are 5 ties involved in the 5th round, and 4 of those ties have been selected for TV coverage. While we see on Saturday afternoon, March the 12th, that the Owl League web and app will cover the tie between North Wales Crusaders, the only League One team remaining in the competition, versus Sheffield Eagles, who last won the Challenge Cup in 1998. Barrow Raiders versus Workington Town on 1 PM Sunday the 13th of March on BBC Sports. And the Sportsman YouTube channel, available worldwide, showing Batley Bulldogs host the red hot favourites Featherstone Rovers at 3 PM Sunday, March the 13th. With Monday's tie between Bradford Bulls versus Leeds Centurions on Premier Sports being the tie that closes off the games for 2022 in the 5th round. The only 2 sides that didn't get a TV billing were Whitehaven, as they take on York City Knights in the 5th round. All I can suggest is have a rummage around your local radio listings for any coverage, and also their Twitter accounts for any updates about live scoring on the 13th of March. Now let's go to the 4th round of the Super League, as we see Wakefield Trinity host the Leeds Rhinos. Both teams are coming into the game without any wins to their name or any points on the board in the points differential column. But Wakefield are slightly above Leeds in the league at this moment in time, after conceding 8 less points in the 3 games so far. So now let's look at the teams. And first of all, we have a look at the Rhinos team, as there was 2 backs returning for this game, as Leeds Rhinos welcomed David Fusitua on the right wing, with Harry Newman making his first start of the season. Otherwise, it's the same team that played in the last game, barring Mellor, who drops out of the squad because of the injury protocols and concussion protocols in the last game and being taken to hospital as a precaution. Reece Martin returns in place of Mellor after his compassionate leave for the last weekend. On the bench, it is Dwyer, Cameron Smith, Bodine Thompson, and Tom Briscoe, who is replaced by Harry Newman, while O'Connor drops out to the 17 altogether. For the home team, Lewis Murphy comes into the starting lineup for Tom Lynham, due to the injury picked up by Lynham in the last game against St Helens. The returning Mason Lino is in the starting lineup, as he replaces Walker in the halfback position. Jay Pitts comes in for Corey Hall in the centre position, as there were numerous changes during from the last game against St Helens, like Harry Bowles coming in at halfback, acting halfback instead of the Liam Hood from the last game. Jai Whitbread comes from the bench, and Aruna goes into the forward line. Fafita drops to the bench in place of Kalepi Tanganoa, who returns to the squad. Batchelor is in the centres as well instead of Mins, who drops out of the 17 altogether at centre. And that means the bench is filled with Fafita, Eddie Batty, Liam Kay again, and Yosef Aldin, who comes in. It's 3 minutes into the first half, and Leeds are awarded the first penalty of the game, right in the Wakefield 20-metre line, after a bomb from one of the halfbacks of Leeds puts Wakefield under pressure, which Gannon claims in the air, but he's taken out in the air by Lewis Murphy of Wakefield. So a penalty, more or less in front of the sticks, is given to Leeds Rhinos. Leeds, though, decide not to go for the early kick and put some pressure onto the right edge of Wakefield. Leeds go through the hands and find the ball to Aidan Caesar, who passes it on to Harry Newman, and David Fusatua beats 3 to get over the line for the first try of the game. The powerful Tongan took 3 players out, and Harry Bowles has to go off due to the injury sustained in the tackle, as it was all wrong, to be fair. On the Leeds part though, Reece Martin in his return adds the 2 from the touchline, which gives Leeds the 6-0 lead. We're now up to the 8th minute and Leeds are on their 30-metre line, and it's Mikołaj Jalecki who puts on a barnstorming run to get Leeds up to the 45, and he has landed on his stomach so he can get a quick play the ball, and Leeds ship it left and at pace. Off the back of the play of the ball, Aidan Caesar jumps out with as the first receiver, and he gets Leeds going, and he passes it to the supporting Danny Walker, who is in the line as well, who in turn passes it to Ash Hanley, and then out to Sutcliffe, then to Ash Hanley, who is being pushed into touch, to be fair to the defence of Wakefield, but he has enough strength and enough time to pass it back inside to Ash Hanley, to Liam Sutcliffe, who in turn passes it to Morgan Gannon, who scores the second try of the game for Leeds Rhinos. Martin adds the 2, and the score is now 12-0. Off the back of another Wakefield penalty, as they keep coming thick and fast when they're in the Leeds half of the pitch, Leeds again get up the field, and we have the first sighting of the halfbacks in Leeds pink colours meshing together and being an attacking force. So back in the Wakefield's 20, Leeds are, and they're on the attack. The ball goes through the hands of Pryor to Caesar and Blake Austin, who finds Harry Newman, who bouncing bombs his way over the line, as it was all one movement according to the referee after conferring with the as assistant Robert Hicks. Reece Martin fails with the conversion, but it's 16-0 to Leeds Rhinos. Some bad news for Wakefield at this time, as in the first try of the game, not only was Harry Bowles in the tackle, Jacob Miller was as well, and he's failed his HIA, won't be back for the rest of the game. We're back at the 8 to Leeds attacking again. Another penalty for Leeds, as they're deep inside the Wakefield territory. But it's all of Wakefield's own doing. Leeds this time decides to go for 2, and Reece Martin, watching it live right now, does he put it over? It's bread and butter, it's just right to the post, 10 metres out, and the try and the kick is good. 18-0. Leeds are back with the ball and they're in their own half, and they just make it over to the halfway line when the 5th tackle is called, and the ball is in the hands of Blake Austin, and he puts up a massive bomb again in Lewis Murphy. He's the one that is trying to gather the ball, but it's swirling around, and he does a late adjustment and he knocks the ball on, unfortunately, into the hands of a Leeds player, Liam Sutcliffe. They are around about 10 metres away from the line, and he passes it out wide to Ash Hanley, who is looking for the ball inside, moving towards the line, while Lewis Murphy has got hold of him in the tackle. But unfortunately, there's no one inside. But fortunately for Hanley, he reaches out, puts the ball down over the line to give the scoreline better look for Leeds. as Reece Martin adds the 2 from out wide, which makes the scoring 24 points to 0 in the Leeds Rhinos' favour. Wakefield have a sniff though of some possession as we're at the 32nd minute, after they started the game back up again with the kickoff, and he kicked short to the left hand side with Tom Johnson trying to go for the ball, but Reece Martin shepherds Tom Johnson off the ball, and the referee rightly gives a penalty. Now, Wakefield work the ball down the field and gets a 6 again. And the timing is completely off for They're in the Leeds 20. He's trying to pass the ball to David Fafita, and the timing, as I said, is off, and the ball goes forward. That's the best attacking position that Wakefield have had during the half. And as if it couldn't get any worse for Wakefield, it did. As first of all, David Fafita's doing absolutely fantastic. He gets on offload and runs across the line towards the left wing of Tom Johnson's, and he finds a gap and he cuts in, and he's through. But we don't know if he got a shout or not off Blake Austin, thinking that Tom Johnson was in support, because all of a sudden Fafita's flips it out of the back door with his left hand towards his left winger, but the shout seems to have come from Blake Austin, who's got the ball and sends Leeds back up the field for another attack, which Leeds take full advantage of. They get inside the Wakefield 30, and the ball is spread across the field to the left hand side, and it reaches the hands of Ash Hanley. He spots a gap going infield towards the posts from his left wing, and he sets off through it. Leeds players are all over the place, Wakefield players are all over the place, and at one point you see the Wakefield players touch a Leeds man and call for obstruction because he couldn't get to the tackler. It's just laziness from the Wakefield boys, and Ash Hanley goes over for the try just left of the posts, which is even made better when Reece Martin adds the extras, and it's 30 points to 0 when the hooter goes for half time. Wakefield are in big trouble. So we're into the second half, and 5 minutes into it, Leeds have a major blow. After coming back from injury to play in this game, Harry Newman limps off with a hamstring injury. He steps off his right leg, and just before he goes into contact with David Fafita, you can see the pain etched on his face as he's grimacing, and he's off for the game, more than likely. But fortunately for Leeds, Tom Briscoe is on the bench for an able-bodied replacement. We now come to the 50th minute, and the first points have been scored, and it's Wakefield who gets on the board as they're attacking on the 5th tackle with a huge kick by Mason Lino. Lino kicks his crossfield bomb in the direction of Tom Johnson, who gets above his opposite winger, and Batchelor passes it back inside for Matty Asher to get in support, and after a consultation making sure the pass wasn't forward, the referee Chris Kendall gives the try. Max Jowett is on kicking duty, and he adds the 2 for 6 points to 30 in Leeds' favour. But Leeds come back once more as Ash Hanley is the man of the hour as he gets his hat-trick. Leeds work the left-hand edge very, very well and get the ball to their winger. And he has enough strength and reach about him to avoid being pushed out of touch and to reach his left hand forward for the try. Unfortunately, Reece Martin is unable to get the conversion, so it's 34 points to 6. A few minutes later though, Leeds are down to 12 men as Cruz Lehman is sent to the sin bin. It's for a high tackle, and Wakefield are unfortunate not to have been playing against 11 men, as David Fusitua tackles a Wakefield player late and with a shoulder. The referee saw the late challenge but didn't give the yellow card. It's on the list that they all said for penalising players. If it's late, if it's a shoulder charge, should have been gone to the bin. But David Fusitua survives. Here is that Ash Hanley try as Leeds go from right to left through hands of Martin, Leeming, and Caesar to Gannon, Hanley in the corner. Still great play from Leeds, but they're fortunate to be only one man down in the sin bins. Video referee checked it and gave it. Wakefield, though, I think due to Leeds taking the foot off the gas a little, are getting back amongst the attacking play and score from a fantastic try. Mason Leno takes the attack to the Leeds line, and as he's being tackled, passes it to Liam Kay, who grubbers it forward for Max Jowett to score his first try of the game. Jowett adds the 2 himself for a 1-2-3-4 scoreline to Leeds Rhinos. There was only one thing that this game has missing from it so far, and that was a Tom Johnson try. Well, with 1 minute to go, Tom Johnson does go over, which makes the score 34 points to 16 with the kick to come, and the kick by Jowett is successful, giving the scoreline a little bit more respectability for Wakefield Trinity as they won the second half 18 points to 4 in this 34 points to 18 score. So, who's my man of the match? Well, it goes to one person. He scored 3 tries today. Simply it. He was big enough and strong enough to get over the line twice against the Wakefield defence, and once he used his ingenuity and his elusiveness and some decent pace as well to get over for his second try. And that's Ash Hanley. Simple as that. There was no one else that could have really got on to the talk. I know Sky gave it Mikkel Edeletsky, and I know the reason why is behind that, and good that they're doing things like that. I'd like that tonight. Stop. Don't do it. You did it for the campaign. As well, it's now that the shirt is being auctioned off, it's also got next to it the Man of the Match award. It'll be worth double what it will do with that on top of it. It's got that prestige. Anyway, back to Ash Hanley. He stayed on his wing, did the jobs that he needed to do, and scored 3 tries, getting on the end of some good work. The only bit of good work in the second half was for his 3rd try for Leeds. Leeds play Saints soon, and if they play like they did in the second half, like they did against Wigan for the entire game, they'll get battered. Really battered. Wakefield, on the other hand, they're in trouble. If they play like in the first half, there's no team that's not going to put any points against them. They might lose every single game if they play the way that they do in the first few games and the first half. Second half showed a little bit of pride, but I think that's because the coach got amongst them. He needs to get amongst them a lot. It may also have the fact that Leeds stepped off the gas a little in the second half, and that was what Richard Agar needs to sort out. But anyway, my man of the match, Ash Hanley. So that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates or any new videos that may be coming your way in the future. Tell me what your thoughts of today's video were. I know there was a lot of information for you today, so Please take your time, go through it, slow down, enjoy it. If they agree with my assessment with Leeds and Wakefield being still too far away from being right at the top at this stage of the season, and you're all waiting for the hard pitches to come in before they start playing any decent rugby. Saying that, with the other teams playing the decent rugby at the beginning of the season that are up there, is it going to be too much for any other team to come back against them? I'm looking at the Wigans, the Warringtons, the St Helens, obviously, and being that they're the early pace setters. Or is there too long to go? Tell me in the comments below. But in the meantime, please stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. Share the video worldwide, and I'll see you in the next video.